You're somewhere completely normal. A restaurant, a hallway, a conversation with someone you just met, and then it hits this exact moment, this exact sentence someone is saying, this exact way the light is falling across the room. You've been here before. Not sort of. Not vaguely. Exactly here. Every detail identical. Like a scene you memorized from a film you can't remember watching. Your brain is absolutely certain. And you are absolutely wrong. That feeling has a name. The French named it Déjà vu, already seen. And for the last 150 years, the most brilliant neuroscientists on Earth have been trying to figure out what it actually is. They still don't fully agree. But what they found is stranger than anything you've been told. Here's the first thing that should stop you. There are over 40 theories attempting to decode déjà vu. 40! Not two competing ideas. Not a handful of hypotheses. 40? For context, we have one theory for gravity, one theory for evolution, one theory for how the universe began, for something that happens inside your own skull, something you have personally experienced. We have 40 competing explanations and none of them has one. That is not a small mystery. That is a crack in the foundation of everything we think we know about how your brain processes reality. Because here's what déjà vu actually is. And this part matters. It is not just a feeling of familiarity. Every moment of every day, things feel familiar. You recognize your coffee cup. You recognize your street. Your brain runs familiarity checks constantly and silently, like a background program you never see. Déjà vu is something completely different. According to Dr. Akira O'Connor, senior psychology lecturer at the University of St. Andrews, déjà vu is basically a conflict between the sensation of familiarity and the awareness that the familiarity is incorrect. And it's the awareness that you're being tricked that makes déjà vu so unique compared to other memory events. Webster, read that again slowly. You feel that something is familiar. And you know that it shouldn't be, both things at the same time. Simultaneously, in the same brain, in the same second. Your mind is telling you two completely contradictory things and both feel absolutely real. That is not a glitch. That is your brain doing something no computer on Earth can do, running a fact check on itself. In real time, while you're standing in a restaurant holding a fork, to understand what's actually happening, you need to go inside, specifically inside your temporal lobe. It sits just behind your temples, one on each side of your skull, right where you'd press your fingers if you had a headache. The temporal lobe is where your brain processes memory, episodic memory, the specific scenes from your life, the birthday party when you were 7, the first day at a job, the conversation that changed everything. Inside the temporal lobe is a structure called the hippocampus, shaped roughly like a seahorse, about the size of your thumb. The hippocampus is your brain's librarian. Every experience you have gets filed, tagged, indexed, given a timestamp that says, this happened, this is real, this is past. Normally, the system works perfectly. You see your childhood home in a dream, your hippocampus pulls the file, checks the timestamp, confirms memory, not present, past. You walk into your office, it confirms familiar, real, present. But déjà vu happens when the filing system briefly misfires. According to O'Connor, déjà vu occurs when brain areas such as the temporal lobe send signals to the frontal decision-making regions, indicating that an experience is repeating itself. Here's what that means in plain language. Your temporal lobe fires a familiarity signal at a moment when it shouldn't. Your frontal lobe, the part of your brain responsible for rational thinking and fact-checking, receives that signal, investigates, finds no actual memory to support it, and generates the conscious experience of déjà vu as a result. The weird floaty feeling, the certainty that isn't certain, the sense of watching yourself from slightly outside your own body, that is your frontal lobe catching your temporal lobe in a lie, in real time. While you're standing there, fork in hand, completely confused. Now here's the part that sounds insane but is fully supported by neuroscience. Contrary to popular belief, déjà vu is not a memory error. Every explanation you've ever heard about déjà vu says it's your memory malfunctioning. A glitch, a misfire. Your brain confusing the present for the past. O'Connor flipped that entirely. His research using fMRI brain scans, machines that track blood flow through the brain in real time, found something nobody expected. When people experienced déjà vu, the memory regions of the brain were not overactivating. The memory regions were actually less active than normal. What was activating, strongly, clearly, measurably, were the frontal regions, the decision-making regions, the fact-checking regions. O'Connor explains, Experiencing déjà vu is probably a good thing for most people. It's a sign that the fact-checking brain regions are working well, preventing you from misremembering events. Let that land. Déjà vu is not your brain breaking down. It is your brain working at its absolute highest level. Your frontal lobe detected a false familiarity signal, investigated it, flagged it as incorrect, and generated a conscious warning, the déjà vu experience itself, to alert you that something in your memory system temporarily misfired. You are not experiencing a malfunction. You are experiencing your own brain quality controlling itself in real time. Most animals on Earth cannot do this. Most computers on Earth cannot do this. The ability to not just think, but to monitor your own thinking for errors while the thinking is happening is one of the most sophisticated cognitive abilities that exists anywhere in the known universe. And yours just did it. Over a fork. In a restaurant. But there's a second theory that competes with O'Connor's, and it's terrifying in a completely different way. Usually referred to as perceptual gap or split perception, a déjà vu may occur when a person processes the present sensory input twice, in rapid succession. Here's what that means. Your eyes see the room. That signal travels from your retinas to your visual cortex. Normally this happens in one clean, unified stream, but sometimes, for reasons that aren't fully understood, the signal splits. It arrives at your brain in two separate waves, microseconds apart. The first wave is processed subconsciously. You are not aware of it. It happens below the threshold of conscious perception, too fast for you to notice, but your brain files it, tags it, stamps it as past. Then the second wave arrives, the conscious wave, the one you actually experience as seeing the room, but your brain has already processed this scene. It has a file for it. A timestamp that says already happened, and so it feels like a memory of something that happened 1/5 of a second ago, which your conscious mind never experienced. Two signals, one room, zero memories, and the gap between them is so small it fits inside a single heartbeat. Here is the finding that nobody knows what to do with. New research published in the journal Consciousness and Cognition provides experimental evidence that the sensation of déjà vu can trigger an illusory feeling of being able to predict the future. The findings suggest that when people detect familiarity in a novel scene, it creates a subjective sense that they know what will happen next, even when they cannot actually predict the outcome. During déjà vu, your brain doesn't just tell you that you've been here before, it tells you what's coming next. You feel, briefly, irrationally, completely, that you know how this moment ends. What the person across from you is about to say, which direction someone is about to turn, what word is coming in the next sentence. And here's the part nobody can explain. Sometimes you're right, not because you're a psychic, but because scenes have patterns, conversations have structure. Human behavior is deeply predictable once your brain has parsed the context. During déjà vu, your brain has, for a fraction of a second, processed this scene from two temporal positions simultaneously, present and past at the same time, and from that impossible double vantage point, it can make predictions about the immediate future that your conscious mind cannot access. There are over 40 theories attempting to decode déjà vu, and not one of them fully explains this. Right now, your brain is doing something extraordinary. It is processing this moment, filing it, tagging it, time-stamping it, and most of the time, the system works perfectly, and you never think about it, but occasionally, in a restaurant, in a hallway, in a perfectly ordinary conversation, something shifts. A signal misfires, or splits, or arrives half a second too early. And for one brief, strange, impossible moment, you are in two places in time simultaneously. The past and the present, both completely real, both completely wrong. Your brain catches the error, flags it, and generates that unmistakable feeling. The feeling that has haunted philosophers and neuroscientists and every human being who has ever lived. The feeling that you have been here before, you haven't. But the part of your brain that just caught that mistake, that part is working perfectly. And that is the strangest comfort in neuroscience. Your confusion is proof of your genius.